get started because it is 5:33. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Dan Cortesi, and I'm this year's public image chair for the district. We've got Darcy from the Menifee Club. She's also in our public image committee. We've got Kevin from the Palm Springs Sun Up Club that is also involved in the committee. And we've got past District Governor Dan Goodrich, who is also a member of the committee. So we are 4 strong, and we are getting to work on a lot of different projects, which you will all see and benefit from. That's the entire purpose of this committee, is to help each club. So utilize us as much as possible. But one of those particular things we are going to discuss tonight, and Kevin's going to kind of take the lead tonight, and he's going to talk about some of the upcoming things we've got going on with podcasts, event calendars, a bunch of stuff. And then our past district governor, Dan, is going to give us some more information about putting these fundraisers and events on DACDB. So Kevin, take it away.
Perfect. Thank you. So, show of hands, are you all aware that we do a district podcast?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I have been tasked with helping District Governor Jamie and also District Governor-elect Judy to help get their guests for the next year. And so what would be helpful for me is if you guys have a community calendar or a community service calendar that you either have already put together or have one in process. I realize they're fluid, or even just like your top 2 to 3 events that you do throughout the year that you could send to me. That would be really helpful, because what I'm having to do right now is to kind of hunt through the different clubs' Facebook pages and websites to see what events are coming up that are timely enough that I can go back to Jamie and Judy and say, hey, let's book this person from that club to talk about their upcoming event. And in addition to that, it's not so much just the person from the club, but if you're doing a fundraiser for an organization, have a person from that organization also join you on the podcast. I will say that they both would prefer to have people in person. I did a recording of a podcast a few weeks ago, but it's a little bit more difficult for me to come from the desert. So we Zoomed in, and it worked out really well. So if you have an event coming up that is something kind of a signature event for your club that's coming up within the next 4 months, please send the information to me, and I'll put my information in the chat thing so you can email me. But I'm also looking for September and October. They're going to take October off, so we're kind of doing 8 interviews in a couple of weeks, as a matter of fact, and then we'll resume in November. So what I'm looking for is some help, and I see some hands. So go ahead.
Do you want these, are these podcasts in advance? Or, I mean, here in Marietta, our Field of Honor is November 4th through the 11th. So
right, and I just reached out to your club this morning, as a matter of fact, to get that information. So I am looking at getting the lead person. Is that Llewellyn?
Yes.
So we've been emailing this afternoon. So it's going to go back to the person to get that situated. And just so you're aware, the way the podcasts work is, yes, they are all pre-recorded ahead of time. So what we try to do is do the next month's podcast pre-recorded. And then what Judy's going to do is release like one a week. So we just had one released today. And then next week and the following week, they'll be released, I believe, on that Monday as well. And you can find them on the district website, but also on the district Facebook page. And the goal would be to go ahead and, when they come out, if you can share them on your club's Facebook page and social media, just to kind of help spread the word and push it out, that's really helpful. And if it's something to do with your particular club, if it's, let's say, your Field of Honor, when that comes out, put it on your personal pages within your club. What the goal is to try to push out for the next year is something that we're all dealing with, and that is membership. So we want to grow the membership, not only in our clubs, but also within the district. So, the more you know, as they say, if you can help us spread the word through your club's social media avenues and also yours, that's great because it just kind of helps people find out more about Rotary, what we're doing as an organization, but also impacting our communities. Darcy, I see your hand up.
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. Is there a one pager about how to do the podcast, the timing, what you should be prepared for, so that when we communicate with clubs and encourage them to participate, they know, okay, we have an upcoming event. I need to do X, Y, and Z, and it needs to be done in so many, a preferred time frame in advance. So, is there something that we can give the clubs to help them prepare, for a podcast or initiating the events on the district page?
Yeah, so basically, think of the podcast as more of a conversation. I don't like to say interview so much because that scares people if you've never done an interview before. The nice thing is with Jamie and Judy is they're very, it's very conversational. So when you're reached out to do a podcast, we want to make sure that both parties, whether the person in the club, but also the person they're bringing into the interview, is well versed on what the event looks like or the fundraiser or what that looks like. Maybe write down a couple of major bullet points. We'll share those with Jamie and Judy ahead of time. They're well versed on knowing how to ask the questions, but a more conversation piece, and it's usually between 25 and 30 minutes. So it goes by fast. It really does. It's just having the conversation about how long have you been doing this in your club? How did you come about getting this community partnership into it? What does your event look like? Are there tickets involved? What does that cost? So it's more of the who, what, where, when, but in a casual conversation. So I don't like necessarily using the word interview because if you've never been on the, interviewee side, it can be daunting.
How far in advance of the event? How far in advance of the event? So if I have an event October 21st, what is the time frame that you're looking how far in advance of the event do you want to schedule the interview, or does that matter?
It does matter because at this point, like I said, we're recording September's and October's right now. So I do have a couple of slots left, and because we're not going to be doing interviews in October, if you've got that event coming up and you can give me the information, I can probably fast forward that right now because the interview would be taking place on September 15th. So you're looking at a couple of weeks from now.
I see.
And then what we'll do is we'll resume in November. So if what I'm trying to do right now is to get as much as I can September, October, and then depending on if someone has an event coming up in November, if it's late November, which now you're looking at Thanksgiving, or December, those are the kinds of, the further out we can get, I can kind of figure it out where in what month it needs to go to. So Dan and Judy and I had a conversation last night, and one of the things, and Dan, you can help me on this one, is that we'd like to do something in November to talk about the Rotary District float for the Rose Bowl Parade. And I think you were on that committee in the past, PDG, or past District Governor Dan, is that correct? Cool. So I was working with Randy Pote, asked him, I said, who in my district would I talk to? And so your name came up. So what I'd like to maybe,
Yes.
there you go. So in November, I'd like to invite you to do a podcast to talk about the Rose Bowl Parade. And so the Rose Parade, to talk about the district's, float, and also be able to, talk about the district being invited if you want to go and see the parade in person, or maybe you want to help decorate the float. Those are things that I think people would be interested in. So along those lines, and I know that we've got the Oktoberfest coming up next month or in October. So Dan Cortese is going to come in and talk about that. So that's what we're kind of trying to do, is promote our individual clubs events and it out to all the different Rotary clubs, so that if you're available and you live by one of the events, to come out and support your fellow Rotarians, but also, create community partnerships with your network of people to create events. So that's kind of what I'm working on. And the more I can get from you and the other clubs, looking forward into the rest of this year, that will help me immensely, because then I can kind of program accordingly with Jamie and Judy to kind of say, all right, let's line these people up for this month because their event's happening 2 months after we record them, but it's still relevant. And then that way, if we can release a podcast every week, it'll be really interesting for everyone to listen to. And I invite all of you to kind of watch the Facebook page on the district level and also the district website to see when these are released and listen to them, because they are very well done and very interesting as well. So that's what that piece was. Dan
And
Cortese, anything I
just to
missed?
add to that, Kevin, I know you focused on a lot of the events and stuff, but you can also talk about or find organizations that you partner with. I know Kevin's going to bring in a group that his club partners with. Today's release of the podcast included Waves, which is an organization that helps veterans go scuba diving and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things we could do, and of course those don't have to align with specific dates. So that kind of makes it flexible for Kevin and Judy and Jamie. So keep that in mind too. So if your club does have some sort of partnership or collaboration with somebody, we can bring those groups in as well.
Great.
So do you guys have any questions about the podcast?
Kevin, do you want me to send a general? I'm sorry, I just spoke up.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Do you want me to send a general press release to you about, would I send that to you, or have you got everything you need on the field?
If you have a press release that's already prepared and you want to send it to me, that's great, but I'm not requesting necessarily a press release. You can just give me, a who, what, where, when, just a couple of sentences. And then what I'll do is I'll review it, and then I can share that with Jamie and Judy. And then just let me know what the dates are, or the date of your event or your interest that you're going to be talking about. But you don't have to send me a formal press release. That's fine. And then the other thing that Dan and Judy and I talked about, which kind of dovetails on this, is that moving forward, we've kind of talked about this in the past, but if you have people in your clubs who are managing your social media, pictures are great, love them, but I think if we can take it to the next level and start introducing videos. So let's just say I'm going to use this Monday's Labor Day barbecue that's happening up in Idlewild. I think Dan's going to that, I'm not going to be here. And I think Darcy, you're going too. So between the two of them, they could take some videos of that and just kind of show the public after they go back and edit them down. We can go back and say, a great time was had by all at the Idlewild barbecue for Labor Day. Here are some of the highlights that people, and it just kind of sees people in a bigger light versus just a snapshot, but kind of gives you that. And between the three of us, we can come up with how that video turns out. But that also just makes it more engaging, because eventually it would show up on the district Facebook page or even on the website. And people who are maybe not Rotarians as of yet, but maybe, we're having them look at our pages, it just kind of draws them in. So think about that too. And again, it doesn't have to be professional, but if you're at an event that your club is doing, or a fundraiser or whatever, that if you're a community partnership, like, let's say you partner with the blood bank, and you've got people coming out to give blood. If they're okay with it, maybe take a video of them. Or, if you're comfortable with doing an interview or being in front of the camera, that's another great step. I'm not asking you to do that, but I think we'd like to start introducing more videos of our, even if you're doing trash pickup, it's not glamorous, but it shows that we're out in the community. If you're helping with meal preparation for an organization, get some video of that and then send it to Dan or myself or Darcy, and we can zhuzh it up a little bit and then turn it around and put it out there to show that this is what Rotary does as a whole. We're looking for members, and if you serve in your communities, this is a perfect example and a great way to give back. That's awesome.
Jennifer, did you
Questions?
have a question?
Oh, I just posted our 75th anniversary event that's toward the end of October on the club and district page. So everything is up there. Do you still want me to send that to you? Okay. Will do.
That'd be great. Great.
So if I could just jump in a little bit about the Rose Parade. Registration for clubs to sign up to begin decorating that parade, I think starts in early to mid-September. But
Okay.
I'm gonna find out. I'll find out. Just go to the Rose Parade site. Maybe it's up. I know that isn't. I know the registration isn't up yet, but um,
And I could use the links for that to post, because that links right into a sign up, right?
yes, it does. So right now, they don't have registration up. So I will have to find. I know who does the registration. It oddly isn't me, but we'll be able to figure it out, and we'll get. They have made updates. So let's see. Here's Zoom meetings, faster program donations, float walkers. Yeah, there is no registration yet. So we'll have to kind of sit tight. I guess I'll find that out. But I'm only saying that to you, Kevin, because by the way, great job. I love the vision that we have moving forward here. The November would be too late almost for people to sign up. I mean, it's going to be full. There probably won't be any spots left because come December, the last couple of weeks of December, it's the finishing touches. So something for you guys on your calendar to think about. But I don't know what you got on your calendar now. So I'm willing to do it whenever you want me to. Because you can pre-record it and show
I
it
appreciate
whenever,
that, and that's great to know. Yeah,
whenever you want
that's
to do
great.
it.
And I think that we can also talk about, on top of that, maybe not everyone can do the decorating part, but maybe there's a group of us who get together and maybe go out early in the morning and be there for the actual parade itself, just to kind of make it a fun event as well. So to talk about both of those aspects is awesome.
Yeah.
I can speak to that. One of the coolest things, because I got to walk this last year in the parade, is as you're walking down, every Rotarian lets you know that they're there. And there are quite a few Rotarians out there.
Yeah.
So that is pretty cool.
Yeah. My experience is coming around that corner on Colorado Boulevard and seeing a sea of people. That was like, wow, there's so many people here. But okay.
Thing too, just so I've got you all here, and I'll just talk about it really quick. I know that this is kind of a sidebar, but we in the desert here are working with the Palm Springs Sun Up and Palm Springs Noon Clubs are kind of collaborating to work on some of our upcoming parades. And one of the parades, first of the season, will be our annual Pride Parade. And District Governor Jamie is going to actually be riding in that. And so we are looking to invite as many Rotarians to come from our district. It's, I believe, Sunday, November 4th or 5th, whatever that first Sunday is in November. But she's going to be riding in a car, and if we can get clubs to come out and march, it's really a nice parade. And you're more than welcome to stick around afterward. But I'm going to be putting something together for that as well. And the other part, we've got 2 more parades following that: the Veterans Day Parade, and then our annual Festival of Lights Parade, which is the first Saturday in December, and that's a nighttime parade. But I'll get that out as well. But that's the first Sunday in November for the Pride Parade that Jamie's going to be part of. So I'll work on that.
Awesome.
I had the car in the parade one time, a convertible. And
Nice. Okay.
I was out of
think
town,
we've
but they
got-
said, "Can we borrow your car?" And I said, "Yeah."
I think we've got one of the gals from actually one of the members in the new club has been able to acquire a convertible classic Cadillac. So I think that's what she's riding, and that'll be a lot of fun. So
Kevin,
Don't tell Rick.
Kevin, Steve, I have a question. Do you hear me?
Yep.
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
on podcast, actually, I am on the district site right now, and there are 3 podcasts on there right now on student exchange and things like that. This meeting is being recorded, and you're able to see it on a podcast. Will this meeting get recorded on the district site along with all the other committees?
This particular meeting?
Well, correct. No, I have looked at, when I've missed a meeting here, you have recorded this meeting.
Yeah.
Well, there's a podcast on that, as you're saying you're recording, and I have looked at the meeting. Will that be available, or is the district site too open to have discussions like this?
Oh,
But that would almost be a YouTube video, wouldn't it, at that point, right? It wouldn't
that's
be
how
a
we're doing it right.
podcast.
Yeah, that's how we're doing
Yeah.
it right now. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, and I believe our website has access. It links right to the YouTube. So
Yeah, well, not quite. I have to put it
No?
on there.
okay,
So I don't have I mean, yeah, I can put YouTube videos on there, but I don't have a page per se set up for
No.
training or, you know, PR, PI actually. You know, I don't have anything set up for that because nobody
Yeah, okay.
asked me to. So
Yeah, I was just curious because I found it very interesting when I missed the meeting, you know, that I was able to chime in on it. And again, we're having podcasts, and now the district site is open to anybody who wants to see it. This is a ad hoc, shall we say, type committee putting together, watching everything, or saying things that, you know, is this something that we want to broadcast separately? That's where I'm going.
good question.
Right, I agree. I don't know.
That's a great question. I can't answer it, but that's, you know, I mean, as far as the website goes, it's available to do that. I know that we talked about doing training videos at one point, or at least Judy did, and maybe this fits in that category.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we can look into that for sure, though.
That would be up to you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
Carry
Get where
on.
you're going with that.
The other Dan, the short one. Oh,
That's debatable, I think.
Well, you know, that's not a bad idea. If there's a few of us, I mean, I'm somewhat technically savvy. I'm not skilled at video. I don't have a lot of experience with doing video and editing video. But even if you put, you know, a primer up on how to use your phone or your camera and what
Yeah.
apps are good, or maybe a little basics on Canva. And for those that don't know, if you don't have a Canva account, because you're associated with Rotary, you can get a free account that gives you access to the advanced or the
Pro.
paid subscription, the pro account, the pro
Yeah.
features. And it's not that difficult to sign up for that on Canva, and it's a pretty easy tool to utilize. And that's I'm taking it that's how you guys made the background there, the Rotary
Yep.
PR workshop
it's a
background through
Canva background. Yep.
And as you know, you and I have collaborated on using Canva for some events and things like that. So you know, that those might be some good tips to get people that are somewhat savvy and comfortable with computers, but they just don't know how to use new tools. So maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's worth investing in developing some basic tools on how to use some things and get more people kind of plugged in. And if there is some consistent platforms that we all use, that certainly makes sharing a lot easier as well. You know, because you can create groups in Canva, you know, collaborative groups inside of Canva, but there are other, you know, video tools for experts, you know, people that are in that profession use different tools. But for the nonprofit, you know, wannabe pros or just want to kind of be in there and promote the club, that might be some ways we can recruit some new superstars to help us promote Rotary in a professional way.
I love it.
Too. That's great.
All right. So on another topic that Kevin wants to kind of go over is talking about social and community service calendars. That's going to go kind of lead into Dan Goodrich's information about DAC-DB. So those two kind of tie together. So Kevin, you want to talk about that?
Yeah. So again, I think I just say this from experience because trying to find who's doing what in the you know, in our district, it'd be great if we can start utilizing the district DAC-DB page and also the district website calendar to share some of our, you know, things that are happening so that we can all, you know, support our, you know, brothers and sisters in other clubs, but we just have to get the information out. So it kind of goes back to what I was saying before. If you have a community service calendar already made, or you want to invite other, you know, Rotarians friends and people to come to your events or your functions and meetings, you know, drop those over to me or to Dan Goodrich, and then we can look at those and start getting those up in on DACDB and the district website as well, so that we can go to one place to see what club is doing what on what date, you know, and share the love with each other rather than keeping it just to ourselves. Because I think that, you know, I'd like to be able to go and say, hey, I want to go check out what this club is doing today. If you got them on the calendar, I can see that more readily available.
And a lot of times what we do is, even as far as sharing your events, it's kind of random. I put our district email in the chat, so you can always send flyers and information to us, and we'll post it on our social media. But a lot of times we're just out looking for postings that your club makes, and if we see them, we'll share them. But if you definitely want a guarantee for us to share it through the district channels, please send us flyers with content about the event to that district email. So that's another way for us to help you guys get the word out about your events.
Hey, Dan, who has access to change the district's calendar on their website? Not on DACDB, but on the website. Or do you have to do it in DACDB and then that transfers to the website?
Are you talking to me?
That's
Dan
a
Goodrich.
Dango question.
That's a Dango question. Yep.
I know. Come on, Dango.
Okay. So I was playing with the calendar. So to put information in on the calendar for the district website, you have to be a level 6 or higher. So what that means is if you're one of the admin team, like Dan could do it. But if I think level 5s are AGs and presidents are 4. So clubs don't really have access to the district calendar, but admin and higher have access to that calendar. So if they go in and put something on there, it'll appear. What I was just trying to see is if I put a club event on the district calendar, if it would show up on the district website, but it doesn't.
Why don't you put the PR workshops on the district calendar?
Because that would require, well, I'll show you what all right. Am I up? Is that what it is?
Yep. I'm making you a co-host. Unless Kevin has something else to say.
Dango, Steve.
Yes, sir.
If you're on DACDB in the calendar, one of the boxes you do is club event, club meetings. There's also district event.
Yes.
You click on that. Wouldn't that put it onto the district calendar?
No, that just displays that on your screen.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so let me share here. Let's see what I got here. So I can, can you see that right there, I hope?
Yep.
So let me get this thing to go up.
Drop
Okay.
it down.
Yeah, so here's DACDB, and here's your club, and here's your district, right? So I'll work within the club, I guess. So if I go to calendar and you want to add events, you just simply click this button on the right. Okay.
Correct.
And then you'll type in your title, but the most important thing is your category. So if it's a fundraiser, make sure you hit fundraiser. If it's event, make sure you hit it, or it's a club meeting, right? So we're going to I don't want to make a club meeting because I think they may already be up there. We're going to say this is going to be a club event, and we're just going to call it Emmett Test for now. And if I had and I took the liberty to copy the link out of this Zoom, but if I paste that right here, it'll show on the link will show inside of the calendar on DACDB. So I'll show you what I get to. But let's say we're going to do, I don't know, that's our speaker, and we're going to talk about DACDB calendar. And if I wanted to, let's see here. Pull a picture in. And let's see, do I got any more pictures real close? I don't know who this is. Oh, that's our last speaker. Okay, so dang it, man. I got people calling me. And I gotta move this box because you guys are, your heads are right in the middle of my way. Okay, so so you kind of get this information, talks, you know, you got a little flyer perhaps, but if you can change the properties here by just right clicking on it, and I find that most of the time you want to be somewhere around for the inside, you want to be somewhere around 350.
Correct.
All right. And then you want to hit OK. And this guy, oh, look at that guy. There's me.
Oh.
We're going to put him as 350 also, just for the hell of it. And looks like I've grown a little bit. But so you hit add event. After you got, you know, your name in, you can put the map in if you want to put the name of whatever this place is at. This has got our club location. But you got your Zoom link in there. The event's going to be active. If you put it to inactive, it won't show. Nobody's going to see it. You won't be able to see it. So if you leave it on active, then people can see it. I don't know that if you're a president, I don't think you get to see this. I think I'm seeing this because of my level. But the Hemet is our club, but I literally could post things for other clubs if I had to. And
So you're showing
I-
us something we can't do?
yeah, right here, I don't think you have that ability.
It's a big help.
So you're gonna hit that add event or anyway, and then we're gonna go back to my club, and let me just show you what it kind of looks like. Here's your test, right? And there's my picture. Look at that good looking guy right there, right? So if
Dan,
you
drop it
click-
down
drop it down.
a little bit further.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
because I didn't.
Oh, wait, right there. Now, where it says district event, if you click that, or if a club clicks that, well, that's what I was referring to. What's
You're going to
gonna-
see all the you'll see all the district events in addition to your club events.
Oh, okay.
See there's Pride and that kind of thing, right?
Correct. Yeah,
So-
but we cannot click that and put our event into that.
No, sir.
Okay.
So this right here, look at my Crocs. I just want everybody to see those. They're pretty cool, bright green. But this is, you know, where I put the Zoom link. If I click this, it would actually open up Zoom and ask me to join the meeting. So Dan, you could literally put that on there for your presentation.
Mhm.
Manage event, of course, gets you back into the event to make changes to it. But that's pretty much the basics of entering something in on your calendar. Let me just do this real quick because I'm gonna delete these because they're not legit. And if I don't have an easy, beautiful website for our club anymore. We're on WordPress, so I don't have the calendar feature turned on. We had stories set up where Rick was going to do a few things, but then I don't know what happened to that. So Dan ends up usually just posting who the speakers are. So if you go to our website, we don't really have the stories loading into our website on a weekly basis. But on the district side, if you go to a calendar and let's say same difference, but this will give you an idea of what it looks like. If I hit add event, it's going to be a district event. And I'm just going to type in test. And I'll type in the same link. I'm not going to go ahead and put pictures in there this time. You guys saw how I did that. But I'm just going to hit add event. Now, when I've done that, it sometimes takes a little bit, but if I flop over to the district website, I guess I probably should have seen, okay, so it's the 28th. I might need to change that to tomorrow because the start time has already passed me. So let's hit update. Okay, so now if I flop over to the district website and I scroll all the way down to this thing, you should see a test appear. It may take a second, but it'll end up appearing on this thing right here. Oh, maybe not. Call me a liar. Go ahead, you can do it. Call me a liar.
Fire.
Liar. Okay.
So essentially, you're putting it into your club, and then it will appear in this listing on the
Yeah.
directory. Okay, let me ask you another question. You mentioned that you're on WordPress and that it will not automatically load stories.
No, it will. You just got to
Cool.
put you got to set up what's called a short code for it, and that allows you to move that story anywhere on the screen where you want. So if you set up the story into like a box, for example, you'll have the ability to put that box on there wherever you want, and that's where it'll post on your page. So you can move things around
Okay,
to kind of move stuff around to make it look how you want to make it look. WordPress has a lot more flexibility than Easy Beautiful,
yeah,
but Easy Beautiful is easy. It truly is. I mean, I think Easy Beautiful is a pretty good product. It's a template based, but for those of us who don't want to get into the intertwinings of that and just want to be able to post stuff and put a flyer up for an event, and, you know, having all your officers and contact information in your calendar and stuff up there, it's pretty slick. You just maintain your calendar and maintain your stories, and your website's completely done for you. Now you can do the same thing on WordPress. Just somebody's got to go in and set it up that way first. I think your club's, as I was sort of told, you guys are moving to WordPress, aren't you, Jennifer?
yeah, we are. We're trying. Snail's pace,
Yeah.
we are.
Well, it's you know, you're going to learn how to use Divi. That's the only thing, and it just takes time. Trust me, if I can do it, you can do it. But that's pretty much the gist of just entering stuff on a calendar. Now, let me go back to the calendar a little bit and just kind of explain that Steve brought up a very good point about the buttons and the tabs up here. So if you're on your club and you click this calendar, if you click this one, show my club and district events, whatever you have up here is what's going to display. So right now, all I got showing is just club events. I didn't have any district events. And so Steve asked, hey, what if I click district events? Well, if I click district events, then all the district events will show up. You'll start seeing the governor nominating and the finance committee and stuff like that. If I hit multi-district, which means more than one district is involved, then you start seeing things like the Rose Parade direct. There you go, right there. August 23rd, register now. See how it's yellow?
Yeah,
That means it's inactive. It's not displayed yet. So they set it up on this day. Well, this is actually behind us now, but this is not ready to roll. District 5300, it's Mike Soden is probably the one doing that because it says District 5300. So he hasn't finished, or they haven't finished making decisions, so it isn't up and running. I was told that it would be sometime in the first week or maybe the middle of September. Same thing with DCOs, fall meetings, and stuff like these are things that I end up going to. But you'll see like all this stuff that doesn't really, some of this stuff is not in our district, right? Here's Louisiana. So you're seeing it because it's a multi-district event. So if I unclick that, you probably won't see Louisiana, see? And then here's the other one that most people don't look at, but you can click the governor's visits. So the governor's visits, like here, they're coming to Hemet October 25th. So all the governor's visits are there too. They're all entered in. RLI is in purple. If you want to know when RLI is, you click that one. I try to keep it somewhat to a minimum on the club side, just because, well, because I use the club side to look at it from when I post something. So when I post something, because I'm asked to put a lot of stuff on the calendar, I post it on the district side. And so then I go to the club to see what's it look like. So that if it looks like what it looks like on my club, that's how it's going to look like for the rest of the clubs. So I leave the club side pretty much the way this is. But then on the district side, when I go to the calendar, you can see I have all the boxes checked. So that's kind of how I do it. But you got other options down here where you can click the box that shows only the events I can register for. Well, that's only event. If you click that one, it's only going to show you events that have a registration built to it. You can put short description of the event. So when I put things in that little box, when we created our little test, you can see that some people put little descriptions in there. It'll show those. And same thing with the speakers and the topics. If there's a speaker that's listed, there's a September 9th, looks like I'm doing DAC-DB training at Tahakawitz High School. If anybody wants to sign up, it's free. But there's a speaker, and my data and PML is all we're going to cover, but this is going to be class 1 of 4. And so what I'm hoping to do on this is run this like a little bit like RLI, where we end up having at least 3 or maybe 4 simultaneous classes all going together. And I'm trying to get DAC-DB to take this RLI module right here and make it DAC-DB training for me, so I can start tracking who has taken part 1, 2, and 3, and 4 if we have a 4. But yeah, mountains aren't moved in a day, and that's a special request. And the fact that I do so much for them and I'm not willing to pay for it kind of makes it hard for them to do it for me, which is what that really boils down to. I have these conversations with DAC-DB all the time. I'm like, you guys don't pay me, So sometimes I'll ask for stuff, or I get support because we have things going on. I don't know, like sometimes I can't even explain it. Things seem to happen internally once in a while. And it doesn't look like that on my screen, but when I go change myself to you and I look at your screen, I go, yeah, I see what you're saying. So then I have to call them up and I say, I need you to switch to be Kevin Taylor and go take a look at this, because it's not that way on my screen. What's up with Kevin Taylor's profile that he's not seeing the same thing I'm seeing? So that's kind of it on calendars. That it's not a real tough subject to add an event, but there's some different view options that people might have didn't know about. I'm not going to get into registrations because that would be a couple hours probably.
So getting an event on the district calendar, because we probably can't do that, would that be something we'd have to send to you and then have you upload it?
Yeah. Or a level 6. So Dan, you can do it. Dan, you have a level 6 asset. You can do it. You could post these PR workshops on the calendar and put that Zoom link in there, and it would show up on the district website as well as on the DAC-DB calendar. And people should, in theory, be able to go to the calendar, click on the link, and join this meeting.
Can you do a reoccurring meeting? Can you do a reoccurring meeting?
It is a
absolutely.
reoccurring meeting.
Okay. Yeah, right. So that's what I mean. You put it in one time and you click reoccurring, and then you could just go back and edit it if you cancel one or it changes or something, right?
Yeah. So hold on just a second. So if you go to calendar and you click add an event, down here on the bottom, you can repeat. So day of month, it'll ask you what, each day or day of week, whatever you're trying to do. First, third Monday, whatever it is, Dan, for the next blank months. So once you do it once, it'll just automatically populate itself into the calendar for the remaining meetings you have or whatnot.
Yeah. I'll work on that to make it easier for everybody.
It'd be nice to have it on the calendar, and it'd be nice to have it on the website.
Yeah. But for those of you that go ahead.
Great. You do a good job putting it on social media. I think more people probably see it on social media, Facebook, than they do the website. But
yeah, as long as it's there, just another way of getting information. If you guys are interested in Dan's training on September 9th, I put the flyer in the chat so you guys can save that and pass that information around.
I'm going to tell you that this training is not going to be geared for the member. It's going to be geared more for club committees and officers. And the reason for that is because most club members can send a P-mail. Clubs have the ability to allow that, but most clubs only have it. They don't open it up for members to be able to send or email through the Pmail system. They use it through, you know, your club leadership sends it out to the members. And then the My Data thing is to teach people how to edit other people's data as well as their own. And then we'll do some Q&A. And then the next class will build on that. We'll talk about more of a secretarial positions with editing positions and things like that. So people can help people with passwords as well as, you know, putting in next year's club presidents or whatever. So building committees and that kind of thing.
Sounds great. So is there any questions for Dan about that?
No, did you say you put something in the chat?
I put the flyer in the chat.
We don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it
I don't-
You
either.
don't see it either?
I don't see it.
Uh-uh.
I don't see it either.
I'll do it again.
No, but
here.
it's September 9th, right? September
Yeah.
9th?
It's September 9th. It's going to be at the same high school we had the assembly
Okay.
over at Tahquitz. They've been really
What
good
time?
to us.
What
I
time?
think it's 9 to 11.
Do you guys see the
Okay.
flyer now?
And
I see
I
it.
see it.
I've
Okay.
had it. I've had it.
Okay.
it's spinning. It's spinning.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
But
nice. I'll be
I
on.
will not be providing breakfast for you. I may have coffee, but I will also not be providing you lunch, which is why we're out by 11. And I don't want to keep you all there that long. It'll be just a couple hours time for Q&A, but we're not charging. We're not charging $30 or whatever to come.
Oh.
So, you know, it's free. And because of that, there's really no budget to feed everybody, I guess. So, or so I'm told. So we're going to just run through it and away you go. Bring your own Starbucks, but be careful because it's, you know, people have computers with them. Bring a computer.
Yeah.
You got free
Yes,
internet. You
yes.
can, as long as you can connect. All righty then.
Thank you,
Alright.
Dan. Appreciate that. Kevin, do you have any more?
I don't.
To add?
We've done it.
Darcy, do you got anything more to add?
No, I think this was really good. Appreciate it. I wish more people were here.
Yeah, we'll get the word out a little bit sooner next time. I know that kind of fluctuates and changes, so we'll keep working on that. Before we go, I do want to talk about a potential opportunity. And this is something that, like Kevin was talking about earlier, we talked with District Governor-elect Judy last night, and she's already planning her budget for her year as governor, and she's going to put a lot of money into marketing, which is great for our district and it's great for our clubs. She's talking about offering each club, and this is basically homework to go and talk to your clubs about and kind of get the feel for what if they might be interested in it. But there is an opportunity to start investing some money into digital marketing, and Judy's looking at it would be about $50 per month for a club to participate in this, and this would go into purchasing Google, Facebook, YouTube, and other digital ads to promote clubs in the district. I know she's talked about billboards and stuff like that. So you guys are the first to hear about this, as far as I know. So if it's something that kind of sparks an interest in your mind, let us know. Talk to your clubs. Let us know what they think. We'll obviously put out more information about that as it develops, but it's something that the district is going to invest in. And if clubs kind of participate in it, we can do like a group collaborative effort to get all of our events, fundraisers marketed the same way. So do you guys have any questions about that?
So just for clarification, it's $50 per month per club.
$50 per month per club to be involved in this marketing campaign.
And
basically.
you have to be committed to making the posts. And who decides if they get boosted or not? So is there some criteria in order to qualify for the funds?
Yeah, I imagine that's all stuff we're going to develop as time goes on.
Okay.
But yeah, it'll definitely be pushing out information through the same kind of outlets that we're going to participate in. So we're going to do it collaboratively together on that. So
What if there's a group event, like a President's Council event? I'm sorry, I'm
no,
not
that's
raising my
fine.
hand.
That I'll talk to Judy about that and see if there's a separate deal for like a budget for like the President
Ignite?
Council groups. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a good question. But yeah, so yeah, definitely. I'll look into that too, because that is a good question. All right, so if does anybody else have any more questions or anything else to talk about?
No, not right now.
All right, well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Appreciate your support on these things, and yeah, feel free to share these workshops with your clubs, and we'll try to get some more participation. We'll do some more classes on Canva, I'm sure, because that's a popular request I'm getting. Some more website stuff, and I think the how to video record videos and stuff, we're gonna get deep into that stuff, because that's super important for the success of each club's social media outreach. So that's a huge one. So but for now, have a great night, and we'll see you later.